a typical migraine, once it's underway, it just starts with a spot right in the middle of my vision, as if I've been looking at the sun or a really bright light, and it'll just slowly get bigger and bigger. It's usually just in one eye or just on one side. So at first you don't notice it. You're just sort of trying to blink it away or look away, and then the realization that it's a migraine trigger coming on. So that lasts for about 20 minutes to half an hour, where I, at the height of it, can't see anything out of that eye. It's just all a big bright blur. So that's the time that I try to get away from work and get home to a dark room before things get really bad.
It starts off with with twinges in the temple, and it's always on my right side. It would start with twinges in the right temple and affecting my right eye. That would be the beginning, because the eye would start tearing. It would, and within a short period of time, it would progress. And the eye would start being really bad, would affect my vision, start feeling like it wants to fall out of the socket. Then it would spread towards the ear, towards the neck, teeth, the forehead. The back of my head would be very sensitive to touch. And it would eventually become quite debilitating.
Generally, I get no aura or warning. I'll just maybe have a restless night with a headache during the night, and I always get a bit befuddled, and I never seem to be able to work out what's happening, even though I've had them for such a long time. And I wake up with a headache, and I just don't want food or drink. I'm completely off it. And then by about 10 usually, or sometimes earlier, it's changing. It's changing as I'm growing older. But usually around 10ish in the morning, I'm out, and I cannot do a thing.
Once I felt that pinprick, that would start staying as a continual pressure of a pinprick just trying to force out. But I'd basically get the throbbing. Other symptoms of my headaches is I get very noise sensitive.
Gradually I become more sensitive to light, and then I become extremely nauseated, and if it comes all the way on, then I have to just sleep, and usually I vomit every 20 minutes on the dot for extensive periods of time, up to 8 hours.
It would usually often be a couple of days as well. I'd have them for 2 or 3 days would be the most normal, but sometimes it's just one day.
I have found that just researching migraines online, particularly in the sort of flat post-stroke days afterwards, just to read about the fact that it does happen to other people. I didn't know about them until about a year ago, that there was such a documented effect after the migraine, after the main symptoms had passed. So it was good to read forums online just of other people's experiences, and to understand that is part of the migraine. It's not just, you're not just imagining it, or you're not just feeling flat and a bit down for no reason, that it is all linked into the migraine.
I'm actually less distressed by the pain these days. I think years ago when you first got it, I think there's the fear of where's this going, what will happen. So I think although the pain is just as severe, I think in some ways I think I've adjusted to it psychologically. I know it'll go, and I've learnt to relax with it.